when they say action and you're looking someone in the eyes, like everything else falls away, and it's either there or it's not, And lucky enough to work with Tim and Conan, and it's both like right there. You're just moment to moment focused on each other.
Well, I'm glad you're getting to reunite to talk about this film in particular, because this is really quite the moving film. I finally got to watch it earlier this morning and was just amazed by the story and the characters. Jordan, I will come to you first, and then Tim. What about Welby's script really caught your interest to want to be a part of it?
From the moment I got the audition, the email, I read it, and it was there on the page, like so often in New Zealand, when you get auditions and stuff, you read the script and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm auditioning for this. But when I got Welby's, I felt his heart and soul on the page. I felt how personal the story was to him. I felt Jim's trajectory and Jim's feeling throughout the film. And so from that moment, I was just like, I am going to do everything I can to try to be part of it. And luckily, here we are.
That's awesome. And then Tim, how about for yourself?
I had the same. I got a call from my guys in London. One of the agents that is I've been with the same agent since I first started, and over there, and one of them said, "I think you should take a look at this thing." I had the same reaction as Jordan did. It was just beautiful. I mean, it's an honestly told piece of work, and. It also took me to a world that I didn't know, a country that I didn't know, that we kind of collared, that British Empire thing apparently went quite far, But so it took me to a world that, when I was reading it, I didn't understand as deeply as the people that were making it. As well we did. He was inside the subject and had wanted to make this film for, I don't know, Jordan, was it 20 years or so? Yeah, something like that.
14, I think. Ultimately.
Yeah. And so, his first time film director, feature film, telling a story that's so deeply personal, and you felt it come off the page that way. And I knew something of that character's dilemma, as in with my father was an alcoholic. So I knew that world. I'd grown up in that world. My childhood had been there. And then I've been around alcoholics, obviously, my whole life. I'm an actor. So so there you go. So it landed, and I'm like, yep, let's go. Deep in the pandemic, let's go to the safest place on the planet. And off I went, and then I met this fella. He took me up a volcano.
That's incredible. That's quite the way to be introduced to New Zealand.
It was pretty great, wasn't it? It's kind of beautiful, I would say. But no, I mean, it was just the story. It was a story that this guy called Welby Ings decided was important to tell, and I think he was right. But it's also it's a beautiful yarn. Always remember that it's a good thing. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. And Jordan, I will come back to you, because Jim's arc specifically is really such a beautiful one to watch through the film as he grows and learns and embraces himself. What was that like for you, especially since this is your leading feature film first major role? What was that like for you coming into that and exploring all of these elements?
Oh man, exciting and scary at the same time, because you're excited. Obviously, I saw that Tim was part of it. I saw that I got to do the months of boxing training and to be part of something that I genuinely felt like had a vision. So exciting. But then to delve that deep into myself and to feeling what Jim felt in those moments, that's also very scary and requires a lot of vulnerability in front of a lot of people, and it was tough, but tough in the most beautiful sense, in terms of like a phenomenal challenge that I learned so much as a person from, and hopefully did justice to the Jim's story.
I love especially your dynamic with Conan throughout the film, and the way that your relationship and dynamic sort of evolves as much as you yourself evolves. What was that like developing with him as production went along, as well as off camera?
It was amazing, man. I mean, he didn't have to be in quarantine. like Tim. So I got to hang out with him even through the auditioning process when he was doing his callbacks and stuff. And from the moment I met him, there was just, the character of Fetu requires this strength and mana that not many people can even pull off, to have like a whole town essentially like hating on you and still be like, you know what, I'm a do me and do my thing. Conan just has that. He just has that.
Yes.
He's got the strength, So very quickly getting to hang out with him, spend some time, discuss, character, our arcs, our relationship as sort of characters. We just delved very deep as people, and we're very sort of raw and open with each other. And I think through that, and then you dive into the deep end of filming, and your relationship grows even more so because of that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's what Jordan's saying, and I think Conan has an innate, a natural ability to get a story across in a very natural way, the same as Jordan does. So, but it's one thing talking about it, it's one thing getting into it deep, but when they put the cameras on you, all of that can fall away. All of that you can become so self-conscious and so scared and so nervous that and what was nice about the environment that we were working in, and I had very little to do with Conan. I think I was on set a couple of times when I was waiting on the same location and saw you guys together, whatever. But these guys, this is was their first time, and I remember that, and they were good at that. I mean, I've seen it not work with actors, and it's a terrifying time. And these guys actually they had it. It was good to see, because you got to have those kind of you've got to keep that wall there so you can actually have the emotional importance of those moments be real. And you guys carried the film. I was away in, and. You guys, it was your film. Really impressive, I thought.
I love that just gushing of praise that you just had. That's such a sweet thing to see.
But I was there. I was there. I had to look him in the eyes when the cameras were on.
But it's especially sweet considering how rugged your character is with Jim for a lot of the film. And so as someone who is, being amazed by Jordan here with his performance, what is that like for you, having to, obviously as an actor, you have to put away your own personal feelings, but what is that like for you, being amazed by this young up and comer while also still having to be his enemy of sorts?
Oh no, it makes your day, so it makes your job easier. If you're working with people who want to be there and who actually can handle the job at the same time. I mean, sometimes it's a struggle to get to a performance, and fair enough, and it was tough for him. He had, work. You're doing all your boxing, you had all of that stuff, all of the other elements of it. It was just, you come to have your day, you make your day work, and sometimes it's a struggle, and sometimes it's not. What I'm saying is, it was interesting watching the beginnings. I've seen it before. I've been there myself, and it's truly, it's always great to see something new happen. And I was around for a bit of that. I kind of enjoyed it. That's what I'm saying. I'll shut up now because his head will be so big he won't be able to get on.
Yeah. You can just see his clothes.
But it's the same. Conan was the same, I'm sure, with you and Conan working together. It must have been.
Yeah. When when they say action and you're looking someone in the eyes, like everything else falls away, and it's either there or it's not, And lucky enough to work with Tim and Conan, and it's both like right there. You're just moment to moment focused on each other.
Do you remember Welby? Welby was sometimes in tears on set.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah. You can make the director cry. Yeah. You want to make the director cry. It's great.
I was like, oh no, Welby's crying. I felt so bad, but like good at the same time.
But he's so happy to be crying, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say that means you're doing the job right.
Or the opposite.
Or
It was painful for him to watch. He's like, how do I edit this out?
So,
True.
Jordan, you mentioned earlier that you were able to work with Conan a little more before filming because Tim was in quarantine. But I am curious if you two did get the opportunity to really have some major discussions about your character dynamic, and what was the biggest key that you found to bringing to each of your scenes together?
Yeah, I mean, we had maybe 1 hour or an hour and a half Zoom initially when Tim was in his quarantine. And then when he came out, we had this whole day where we had this sort of pulfrey, which is a Maori blessing for the film before it began. And then we went to dinner, which was nice with everyone that was sort of involved, producers and everything. And then Tim and I just got some time to walk up the volcano and hang out just one-on-one. And, you know, we had discussions about the character, the relationship, about, you know, everything sort of to do with the world of it. And then we didn't really have the luxury of time. It was just going into it and each scene just working on it as it goes and trying to, you know, be as truthful and into it with each other as we could.
But what about with Conan? With Conan, you got to spend a lot of time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With Conan, we got to sort of build it up and go to the beach together and hang out and, you know, have these sort of moments. But with Tim and I, it was just like, here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now or never.
Yeah.
Now, do you both find that to be easier or tougher when it comes to the job, especially for a father-son dynamic?
It just depends on the actor. It was easy. It seemed to come quick to us, Jordan, don't you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, especially with the material, talking about such in-depth stuff, there's a certain depth that you develop, I think, very quickly that like surface level conversation doesn't get you to.
Yeah, I agree. It felt comfortable to dive right in and get stuck in, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I'm glad then that you were both able to dive in as quick as you were, because it works so well on camera. You both are phenomenal together, as well as Conan. But before I let both of you go, Tim, I wanted to ask you one question away from the film. I know you recently had. Yeah, don't worry, I'll word it so you don't get in trouble. You're back in Marvel, and in exciting fashion. And I know you can't tell me what's coming up from the future, but I would love to hear, you know, now that you did get to finally reprise the role again in She-Hulk, as well as Shang-Chi, what are you hoping comes next for Emil or Abomination in the franchise if he does return?
I have no idea what if they have anything planned or what they. I'd be very happy to drop right into Deadpool.
That would be awesome.
I would love that so much.
Yeah.
We talked about Deadpool. Actually, there was one scene, I can't remember if it's in the thing, where I was walking behind something with some superhero action was going on. I just turned to one of the characters and went, "Is that Deadpool?" And it clearly wasn't. Probably didn't make it in. They did let us improvise. In the end, they gave up trying to stop me. So we had quite an interesting time. I enjoyed it. I was very surprised when they came along, and I definitely enjoyed it. So wherever they take me, it's fine, as long as you get to play. I
love to hear it. I do hope to see you back for more. I love to see Emil's arc in She-Hulk of redemption, sort of.
Never trust. He's never one to be trusted. That's for sure.
Indeed, but who knows? Maybe they'll find a way to actually redeem him in the future.
Maybe.
But in the meantime, I am very much looking forward to spreading the word about Punch. You gentlemen are both phenomenal in it. Like I said, Conan's incredible, and Welby's done a great job. So thank you both so much for taking the time to chat. I do greatly appreciate it.
Thanks,
John. It was nice to chat.
Have a good rest of your weeks.